How much will the tax plan, as it has been laid out, understandably in conflicting form on the Senate and House sides, how much does that change the jobs picture in your view?
Probably a small amount. I think over the 10-year period, not very much. Maybe next year it'll add a little bit to growth. But I think you need to be aware the tax proposals work against infrastructure investment. Cutting the state and local tax deduction, that's going to make it much harder for state and local governments to invest in infrastructure. Getting rid of the private activity bonds is going to make it much more difficult for investment in infrastructure. So I think that there are many features to this bill, and I think we have to bear in mind that some of them are going to work in the opposite direction of what the administration has listed as its priorities.
So what if they come up with an infrastructure bill? I mean, yesterday we heard that they actually have one ready to go. What if they enact infrastructure in the first quarter?
Well, first of all, infrastructure gets spent very, very slowly, and it's mostly spent by state and local governments. Secondly, I wish them a lot of luck passing the infrastructure bill. They've sent a lot of mixed signals about what the highest priority is. Paul Ryan said his highest priority next year is to cut Medicaid and Medicare. So that, first of all, would slow economic growth next year, but also, I think, pushes the infrastructure investment down the road.
I love the very diplomatic burns that people kind of, put out there. We wish them luck. I want to talk about a column by Harvard professor Cass Sunstein in Bloomberg View yesterday, where he was talking about deregulation and how a lot of people say that deregulating Wall Street banks will add considerably to the economy. He disputed that and said, not so much. Do you agree with him?
Well, it's hard to say that deregulation has slowed economic growth in the U.S. I mean, the U.S. has done better than other countries that have moved more slowly on the regulatory front. On top of that, if you look at the long sweep of history, financial crises are horrible for economies. So I think, most importantly, raising capital standards for banks has helped to make our financial system safer, which should help with growth in the long run.